Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, do you remember that 10 bold predictions video I made before the beginning of the season? I hope you do. It's right here. It's my 13th most popular video. So I hope you guys remember it. Well, let's see how close to spot on I was for this season. If you remember number 10, it was no Olympic participation by the NHL this year. And despite the initial idea that they were going to go, and we did make a video on that, you can follow the link up above, they did eventually change their mind. And thanks to that thing that's been happening for the last 2 years, and probably a little bit of political motivation, they decided not to go, and instead used the makeup time, or the Olympic break, to make up the games that they had to postpone throughout the season. So that was true. There was no Olympic participation. The next prediction was that the Capitals and Rangers games would be getting pretty vicious. And I only made this prediction based on the Rangers acquiring Ryan Reeves for ultimate purposes of going against Washington and Tom Wilson. And it wasn't nearly as bad as one would think. I was really hoping these two would play in the playoffs instead of the Rangers playing the Penguins and the Capitals playing the Panthers, but that would have just been too exciting for TV, right? No, I'm not basing it all on TV ratings, but it would have been an amazing series. It would have been physical given how the playoffs have been thus far, and it would have been bloody. But ultimately, I would say this did not come to fruition. It really wasn't as physical as I'd hoped, or as it could have been, but it could still be. But for prediction purposes, no, it wasn't. I picked the Avalanche to win the President's Trophy, and they were second. And if it weren't for that losing streak at the end of the season, and it's debatable whether they meant to throw away the President's Trophy or they just really legit losing, they might have won it had it not been for the Panthers on their winning streak up until the last game of the season, where they got thumped 10-1 by Montreal. So, second, not first. Next was me saying the Kraken would just miss the playoffs. And, well, they missed the playoffs. Last in the Pacific Division, 60 points, put them 30th overall in a 32-team league. But as I mentioned in my Kraken video, which if I can post the link, it's right there, there's nothing wrong with going through the growing pains, especially in the first year. It'll teach you how to lose, that way you can remember how to win. Bigger, better things are on the way. Just gotta wait for them. I picked the Ducks to finish 32nd overall, and they finished 23rd. So if I had to switch the numbers around, I'd have got that right, but they did also finish 7th in the Pacific. So not quite last, and I probably won't be picking them last for a while. I think with Zegras and Drysdale, they got a lot of good things going for the next few years, so they might actually make a run out of this. And then I predicted that McDavid would make a push towards 200 points. And, well, that turned out to not happen. I mean, you had more 100-point scorers this year in a while, at least 16 years. He did manage to score 123 points. Far stretch from pushing 200, but he's not done. Then I had said that Ovechkin would finish 3rd in career league scoring. And, wow, that's not a hard thing to predict at all. That was pretty much just an easy pick for me. Because, yeah, there was no way he wasn't finishing 3rd. But what that does mean is I can't use Ovechkin's going to finish second in career league scoring for next season because that's just a given. It's a no doubter at this point. I was a month off when I said Eichel would be traded December at the latest. He was actually traded in November, and pretty much going the entirety of his career up to that point, having no playoff experience and wanting any excuse to get out of Buffalo. And I mean, I'm not doubting the legitimacy of his back injury that probably had to happen. Eichel got traded to Vegas and missed the playoffs. So what did we learn from this whole trade? That Eichel just is not a playoff player, or he just picked the wrong year. Leave me your thoughts. I'm not trolling. I'm just laughing at the irony. You won out of Buffalo because you weren't making the playoffs, and you still didn't make the playoffs. Go figure. That did end up becoming the two most synonymous words with this season: schedule change. Because of everything, and because of having to do the protocol situation and all that, and yeah, it was inevitably going to happen. There was no two ways around it. With what's going on and with what's still going on, and with numbers and science, all that stuff, it was inevitable. And the fact that they managed to actually catch up and play the full 82 games for every team, that made me happy. I'm pretty sure it made a lot of people happy. That was a first full season in almost 3 years. It's a lovely thing. And then the biggest bold prediction, and we're not really sure really what's going to happen. They haven't relocated. They haven't announced they're going to relocate yet. But their idea of being able to still play in Arizona involves playing in a 47 max capacity arena on the campus of ASU and charge $350 a head for a target audience of college kids. Like, when? I'm not going to get into a rant because I could make a whole chapter, song, and verse on this. Houston wants a team. If you're not going to move to Houston, move to Quebec, realign again if you have to. Either way, fix the bleeding. Get the Coyotes out of Arizona already. I'm tired of them being the joke. Like, if you want 32 competitive teams, make 32 competitive teams. Don't make Arizona your dump. And allow them to play in an arena that is clearly below league protocol. Like, let's move on. So as far as my bold predictions was concerned, I went 3 for 9. The only reason I say 9 is because Arizona's still in the not sure, I would think category. So, yeah, one of them was definitely a gimme. Some of them I thought were no-brainers. I thought definitely the Rangers Capitals were going to be a lot more physical. I thought Seattle would have been a little bit better. I thought McDavid would have been a lot more offensive, even though 123 points is definitely nothing to sneeze at. Eichel, I thought was going to turn out better. Instead, it's turned out to be a joke. All in all, as far as bold predictions for the regular season, bold might not have been the right word, but not bad. Like I said, though, the ones I think I did get right were pretty much gimmies. There was no way they were going to go to the Olympics in 22. There was no way they were not going to get away without having to remake some dates. And there was no way Ovechkin wasn't finishing lower than third, even if he would have tied Jagger at the end of the season. That still would have been third, but that's a completely different video that I just made. So that's my reaction to my bold predictions. There's another one, Trevs Hockey Shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're right here. It's great for everybody involved. Just give me a like if you've made it this far. If you want, that red button, you know what it does. I don't have to tell you anymore how much it makes you feel good. It makes me feel good if you do. So let's do that. Socials, they're in the description down below. Moving forward, I think as far as my regular season catch up, I'm pretty much done. Just waiting on award nominees right now, and one project that been meaning to get back on for quite some time. I think I'll finally get back to it. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for reviews from Trev. Later.